In the aftermath of Yolanda's force and fury leaving a trail of death and destruction in many parts of the Visayan region, it has been a major challenge for the government to undertake relief and recovery. A year after, the President announced the implementation of a comprehensive reconstruction and rehabilitation program. One major concern is the resettlement of thousands of families who lost their homes. Tonight, we are joined here in the studio by Mr. Chito Cruz, the General Manager of the National Housing Authority, to share with our people the resettlement program of the government. Good evening, GM Cruz.
Good evening, Kathy.
Okay, share with us the resettlement program for the victims who lost their homes. How many will be benefited from this project?
Yes. Well, let's start with what we're doing. No?
All right.
As far as NHA is concerned, we're doing the resettlement of those families who are in the unsafe areas, meaning those that are required to be resettled because they live in danger areas. So technically, not all of the destroyed totally or partially houses in the aftermath of Typhoon Yolanda will be resettled. Only those that are living in vulnerable and unsafe areas. No?
What provinces in the eastern Visayas region will we build these houses on?
Well, you're talking about several regions. No? First, let's start with Region 8, where you have Leyte, Samar areas. No? Then the whole Panay Island, which is, I think, Region 6. No? And then north of Negros and north of Cebu are also affected, up to Palawan. So this is what we call the Yolanda corridor. It's 50 meters from the eye of the storm. No? So,
this is a huge area. How many homes are we expected to build, and how much does this whole project cost?
Well, as I've said, we're based on the provincial plans that were submitted to us, and which was vetted and submitted by the OPAR to the President as part of the comprehensive recovery and rehabilitation plan. We have targeted about 205,000 houses to be built, no, for families that are actually residing in unsafe areas, no.
The President has stressed that the government will be building back better. How will this apply to housing units?
Well, firstly, the design that we are now implementing is an improved design of our regular program. No? The President wanted the houses to be constructed as typhoon resilient to 250 km per hour winds. No? So we asked the assistance also of DPWH in vetting our design. So we came up with a joint design by DPWH and NHA whereby these houses will be able to withstand winds of about 250 kilometers per hour.
Can you describe to us the housing units? How will they look like? How big will they be?
Well, it's a basic the house sits on a 40 square meter lot. The house itself is 22 square meter, and it's loftable, meaning you can improve on it. You can put a loft that will increase the space, the livable space, to about more than 30 square meters. No? So it's going to be built on areas that are certified to be safe areas. We will secure all the necessary clearances for all of the from all of the government agencies to be able to ensure that these houses will be in safe areas.
GM Cruz, you have earlier said that the housing program would cover only those living in the danger zones and not all of those who lost their homes.
Yes.
How will you go about awarding these houses to the people? Because I was in Tacloban 2 weeks ago, and I've seen two types of houses in the danger zones.
Yes.
There are those temporary shelters, and there are still several who are living in tents. So who will be prioritized?
Well, the beneficiary selection is being undertaken through a what we call a local interagency committee, wherein it's headed by the LGU, and the members are the DSWD, NHA, the PCUP, including the CHR, is also a member of this this committee. No, of course, the what we would like and what we will be pursuing is to make sure that those in the tents which really need our assistance as far as permanent housing is concerned, to be prioritized, no, as compared to those that were given already temporary shelters, no. So we're going to propose that those in the tents would be given first priority.
You've said that these communities will be built in the safe areas, such as like near hills or really far from the shore. How do we convince the people to move when their livelihood mainly is fishing or selling fish? How do we convince them to move to a higher area?
Well, firstly, I think just going back to what happened almost a year ago when Typhoon Yolanda struck, I think people should now realize that building houses in the danger areas or in the unsafe areas would be foolish, no? So I think we can do social preparation to convince them to move to safer areas, no? And so far as livelihood is concerned, I guess we can plan out, or maybe because most of them are fisher folks, no? So I guess we can probably introduce some innovation, as in putting up a fishing community or a fishing area for them, where they can put all their fishing equipment so that they can go back during the day, and do their livelihood in those areas, no?
Sir, can you describe to us the communities that you will be building? Aside from houses, what can we see? Will you be building schools or other facilities?
Well, our resettlement areas will include provisions for schools, no? So we will be building schools in the open spaces, as well as multipurpose facilities, no? Those two facilities is included in our planned resettlement.
And when do we expect this project to be completed?
Well, but slowly we're trying to fast track all of this, no? So there will be some deliveries before Christmas. We hope to deliver about close to 2,000 units before Christmas. But the bulk of the delivery will probably start by probably May, June, up to the completion date that we have set for all the builders, which is basically October to November of next year, because the period for constructing houses is actually more than a year.
Okay, when we turn over these housing units, does this mean that they are already with electricity and the basic utilities?
Yes, there will be power and water provided for these houses. So they can be assured that there's power and water.
When I was there, I talked to some residents in Tacloban and other parts of Leyte, and they said that they will be paying for these housing units. How much will each unit cost, and how do we determine their capability to pay?
Well, that's still being discussed right now. No? There's no definite yet decision on this yet. But the consensus is to for the beneficiaries to pay for the cost of the houses, but at a very subsidized rate, no? And to give these families a grace period of 5 years before they are actually start to amortize for these units. And in the next 5 years after the grace period, what they would be paying is about 200 pesos per month. So it's not going to be very expensive for the beneficiaries.
GM Cruz,
Very
is this
affordable.
a public-private partnership program?
Well, it's basically a government initiative because the funding comes from the government. But we do partner with some NGOs. In fact, when we started looking for lands and we gave priority to NGOs such as Habitat and Gawad Kalinga because they have donations and fundings that can be used for this project. No? This is a way for government also to save on some of our projects. No? So we started with partnership with them, but now to fast track everything, we're actually bidding out most of these projects.
It was announced by the President today that there will be a one-stop shop for those who will be applying for these housing units. Can you explain to us how this will go?
Well, the one-stop shop is very important for us because in the pre-implementation stage of the housing construction, you normally have, when we do housing construction, 3 months to 5 months is spent with just securing all the necessary permits and clearances. No? With the one-stop shop, we hope to be able to reduce the number of days that is required to obtain all of these clearances so that we can start working actually in constructing the much needed houses. No? 3 to 5 months based on the new guidelines would probably take us the longest, probably less than a month.
Okay,
so we can greatly reduce the timeline in securing all the permits.
Mr. Chito Cruz, General Manager of the National Housing Authority, thank you so much for your time and good evening to you, sir.
Okay, thank you.